Stacy, here we are. We are back for 47.
47. How are you?
I'm doing okay this week. I really, really am. This week has been better than last week from a certain point of view. It's been much, much, much worse from another point of view.
Yes.
But I'm gonna take the other point of view where it looks really good. How's your week been?
I'm good. We're good. We were I wasn't mentioning it, but Kevin's job. So there was like a delay in the start date.
Yeah.
Oh, we just need to delay. And so it was getting to the point where like, oh, is something falling through? So literally 2 hours before we started, not even an hour and a half before we started recording.
Yeah.
He got the official letter, an official start date. He just signed it. But so for several weeks there's been a bit of delay. So we were like stressing out a little bit. But so
I can imagine. That's wonderful. Yeah. He has to be very, very happy.
Yes.
It's a big gorilla on your back.
Yeah.
I get that. I really, really do. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to my friend Justin and we were, texting back and forth about it, and we were like, yeah, he's starting to feel a little rocky too about everything.
Right?
Oh, what's going on? So no, to have that officially underway is a big deal. So
now I'm a little unclear about Kevin. I'm a little unclear about this. One, we've never really met him, so we don't know if he exists. That's number one.
I promise.
We don't know that. He could be like Norm's wife in Cheers. We never met Norm's wife. I don't know if you remember in Cheers, Norm would always get the phone call from Vera, and he'd have to come home. Okay. And the one time we saw Vera, we saw her calves walking down the steps into Cheers, and then they stop at the window, and we see her walk back up. So I don't know if you're a little crazy and you've invented a husband. I don't know if you're living with a family in a big house and they don't know you're there. I hope we get a chance. Hey, at least my better half was on camera. Okay.
Yes.
See, at least we know she exists. But
I'd love to get him on. I would love to get him on, but he's kind of like, no. He's kind of shy that way. He's kind of like, nah, I'm good.
That's what Meg says on Family Guy when she has a boyfriend. Okay. Shut up.
You saw pictures. I posted him.
I saw pictures. It looked like they were photoshopped. It looked like they were.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a guy in a frame at Walmart. I bought a bunch of frames for my Rocky room, and the same guy was the same guy in that picture. So either if you do have a husband, he's a secret male model, or you superimpose them in. No, what I want to ask you something about Kevin, because I am trying to get a feel for this man. Where is he on the Rocky vibe? Does he like Rocky? Is he addicted? Does he know? Is he like us? How is he?
No, he loves Rocky. He saw Rocky, he was 10 when Rocky came out in 76. So, and he was a kid and he bought, lifted weights, really, really young, so no, he was very moved by it. Rocky 1, I shouldn't say Rocky 1, Tony Seal, kill me. Original Rocky. He was very inspired by that. I think if he were to answer the question, which one's your favorite? It would be Original Rocky for sure. He loves them all, and he is watching them because I'm watching them. But he's not crazy like we are. Like our bubble, but he gets it. Yeah.
Has he ever asked you to dye your hair black and wear the red beret like on a Friday night?
No, I haven't worn the beret, but no.
He's never had you put on like 20 sweaters and just go ice skating. No.
Well, that's what New England is like. So that was happening anyway.
Regardless,
right?
Rocky or not, that's what was happening.
Yeah. So he definitely he's just quiet. You know what I'm saying? He's quiet. He's like, oh, you just do your thing. I hope to convince him to get him on sometime, but.
Well, from time to time, I'm going to be asking a few more questions. I'm a little suspicious that he doesn't exist, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now. Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now.
I promise.
Hey, speaking of the benefit of the doubt, how is everyone doing in our Rocky universe? Last week, our good friend Roz was kind of fighting to kind of get back in tip-top shape. How is she?
She's good. She went through the surgery, and they had to release some scar tissue. It ended up being a bigger surgery than they thought it would be, but she's home now. And, she's fine. She's okay. The discouraging part is it's like starting all over again from her original surgery. So the healing, it's the same. It's not going to be a quicker recovery this time or anything like that. It's like starting all over. So we text. She sounds good. I think I would certainly tell people, hey, send her a little encouraging word every now and again, just because it's kind of a bummer. It's like hitting a wall. So, but she's okay. She's being positive. She really is. She's being positive about it. So
I'm very happy to hear that because, she is really a Rocky super fan, and she appreciates us. So anybody that takes the time out of their busy schedule to watch us two numbskulls try to put together a podcast from scratch, that says a lot about them wanting to be our friends, so that's a good deal. Anyways, hey Stacy, what time is it? I don't have anything here. What time is it? Do you know what time it is?
Let's see what time it is. Wow.
Oh my God, Chandler Bing, look at this. Wow.
So this was my housewarming gift from Rick Babcock and his wife. I'm sure she was all the hours that she had to be without him while he did this. So this is wood.
Look at that.
And
it's not like it lights up or anything, right?
No,
it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't
like
light up. It flashes. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Oh my God. Step right up and guess that large man's weight. Step right up. That's what it looks like. It reminds me of something I would see in a great circus. I love that thing.
It kind of has a retro feel to it. So there's this little remote.
Wow.
And I was like, and I'm opening it. It's funny because he wrote a little message on the back. So this was the first thing I saw.
Right.
And I was like, I don't understand what I'm looking at.
A big yellow circle with marker on it. Great
and then
gift.
I turned it around. I should have recorded. My husband who exists was with me, and I should have had him record me because I was like, I couldn't believe how beautiful it's beautifully done.
Right.
So somebody else may or may not be getting something similar in the mail, but I won't say who that might be. But I wanted to show people. Hold on, let me get over because I'm super. These are other ones he's designed.
That's awesome. Doesn't that look great?
Isn't that awesome? Italian Stallion black and white. And I'm plugging this, Rick. So he's making these now. So he has added this to his repertoire of t-shirts and hats and who knows what else. Now clocks. So thank you, Rick. That totally made my day. And now I have to rearrange because I want it to be in my view as we're recording. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Could you imagine it could be like an angel? It'd be right above your head, your halo. We'll play godlike music. We'll have a shaft of light shining down on you, saying prayers for all of us heathens.
Well, it was a huge surprise, and he's never alluded to something showing up in the mail. I had no idea what he was up to, and I was like, "What?" So yeah, that was really awesome.
I'll tell you, Rick wrote me back, and he's the only person that wrote me back, and I appreciate it so much. He was able to come up with the concept for my Lipton Rocky statuette to keep it upright. So he's got some kind of a stand. He said he was going to send me that he thought would work quite well for it. So I'm really excited because I love that Lipton thing.
Yeah.
Years ago, I don't know if I wasn't going to talk about this, but I used to work at a 7-Eleven. It was called a Melmart, Melmart. Okay. The guy's last name was Melnick, so that's where it came from. Anyways, I used to work at this. I used to pump gas, and then I ended up becoming a manager there, and all these stupid things. And that was back in the early '90s when the Lipton. When the commercial was out, keeps ringing that bell.
Right.
And, okay. So they had a 5-foot tall version of the claymation Rocky holding a Lipton Brisk case above his head. Yeah, I have it in the other room.
I was going to say, did you steal it?
Of course. The owner comes in 3 days later and he goes, "Where's that Rocky thing?" I don't know.
Don't know. It's gone.
I closed out my shift last night. Don't know what happened to it. Gone.
Yeah, right.
So yes, I do. I have it in the other, and I also have, oddly enough, a Kramer. Kramer, Michael Richards, he was doing commercials back in the 90s when Seinfeld was finishing up. And he was doing he was a mad scientist or a professor of some sort. And I have one of those cardboard cutouts in the back. So I have so much stuff of Rocky and just fun things. I'm starting now in my room next door to the office. I'm starting to put it's like a guest bedroom, but really it's where my DVDs and books are. And so I'm trying to put eclectic things in there. Like I have a Ghostbusters mega meter that reads ghost disturbances. I have slime that I bought online, Ghostbuster slime, the Jaws models. I have a whole bunch of stupid things, the Predator model in there.
You should send some pictures to some of those 80s pages on Instagram.
I was thinking about
it. I would love that.
I think they would. I thought I'd do something fun with it. That'd be kind of interesting. But you know, I just would like a day off. I have one day off and I'm doing a podcast.
No, your tour schedule's
a
madhouse right now.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah.
Got to pay the bills. Anyways, speaking of paying the bills and have nothing to do with this segue, listen, you and I had a really cool idea. Tattoos.
Yes.
So I am not a tattoo person.
Right.
I just don't think it would look good on me, tattoos. But pretty much almost just about everyone in my life has a tattoo.
Right?
Almost everyone that I know. Yeah. So I started thinking about it and I started seeing a lot of things online and I was talking to you about it. And why not put out a thing for people to send in their tattoos of Rocky?
Right.
I mean, the body is a canvas.
Right.
And Stallone bit the bullet in 2008 and covered his upper torso so, you know, maybe it could be interesting. Did we get anyone to send anything in?
Yeah, well, it was one of our most popular ideas, so that was a good one, Michael. So I got 21 and I've even gotten 2 more, but we had already there was 2 more that came in, but right here, this gentleman right here.
You and I should kind of pick our top 2, right?
Yeah.
We should let's because I think I did say we were the most unqualified people to judge tattoo art. So we're going to take none of our skills and apply all of that judging whose tattoo is the best. And mind you, they all look great.
Yeah, they do. And the thing is, I've always said you're at the mercy of your tattoo artist. You know what I'm saying? And your budget.
Could you imagine if a tattoo artist, he has like a policy, you know, whatever your scheduled time is, regardless, you show up, you pay, that's it. So whatever you get, you get. And you walk in and the tattoo artist has got the shakes. And you can't afford another tattoo, but you have to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
That could be bad.
Speaking of tattoos, you know the word regrets? Well, there's a tattoo parlor in town called No Egrets. I'm like, that's kind of cute. No egrets for somebody messing something up. Anyway.
That's funny.
So here's Will Hagen, who clearly met Stallone. And so in this bottom right corner, that was his tattoo. So he submitted that.
That's an amazing likeness, right?
Yeah, it was super good. And let's see, this is Jamie Mojica, maybe?
Okay.
Italian Stallion, classic. Just love that.
Nice.
Love that. And they say, and I don't know, because I don't have any tattoos, but certain parts of the body are far more painful than other parts of the body. And I just, I don't know. I can't do it because I can't sit there and be like, I can't do it. Yeah. And here's our Rick Babcock, the maker of my clock. That is on. So there you can put in your order, Rocco Bob 33. Those are his 2 tattoos.
Look at that. Impressive.
Isn't that cool? And this one, hang on. Balboa Nation. So he has a big page on Instagram, a lot of followers.
Yeah.
That one,
like
the expression. Mm-hmm. That's a really intense.
That's a contender for me. That's a contender.
Yes. Yeah. I already know who my favorite, I was like, wow. Corey Lavoie. Same.
Nice. Good size.
And adding the, the punch at the top of the stairs there around it. I thought that was kind of neat because this one is without it. And this one has the top of the, that top of the stairs. So that was a really neat way to combine those two moments.
What's his name? Corey Lavoie.
Corey Lavoie. Yep.
Okay.
Maddie Reeves. Man, always love to see Mickey. Look at
Maddie. That's nice.
Yeah.
Rocky and Mickey. Man, oh man. What is he showing us with Mickey and Rocky there? What is that? Is that a shoulder, a back?
I think that is it's his forearm. I cut them down because I wanted to get the pictures as big as possible. So it kind of,
I'm almost wondering if that's his heel on the bottom of his foot. Could you imagine getting a tattoo on the bottom of your foot?
No. No, I can't.
No, there are 3 key places on my body. I can tell you right now. No. Foot would be one.
Here is Kai Effenberger. Can I tell you? And that's the other thing.
Awesome.
And I should have added. We had a submission from Portugal, from the Netherlands, from Argentina. I couldn't get over how far they were coming from. But this one, the statue, I was just
wow. Hang on one second. Let me see. I want to get a good look at this. Hang on. Look at that. Is good. All right. Let me move back over. Okay. I want to make sure I was able to see that.
Then we have Danny. So this is Danny Smith, and it's hard. He sent us a video. It's 28 seconds.
Okay.
And just Danny, I had to remove, I think he sent it to me with Eye of the Tiger, but because of YouTube being YouTube, I just put new music to it because they'll take the episode down. So we have to be careful with that. I just put different music, generic music. So this is 28 seconds. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
I'm like,
and who was that?
All the way around the world. So Danny Smith, he's in the UK. So if you want that tattoo artist and you're from the US, you're flying the ocean. So
Jesus.
So that's why I wanted to show the video, because just a still of it, you don't get a real appreciation of his entire calf. I was like, wow.
Jesus Christ.
This gentleman, was this the gentleman from Argentina? I apologize. I should have put the cities or the countries they were from. He also has a Rocky one, and for whatever reason, he was like, I can't find my Rocky picture. So there's a 5th one. So he has all these 4 plus Rocky, and these are all over his body. So I was like, wow,
impressive.
So that was mighty impressive. Then this gentleman has an 11-second video too. This one, I was like, wow, Sebastian Parado. Let me just get over to his video. It's only 11 seconds. Hang on. Yeah, so that's him. That one I love too. Let's see. Then I have Bert Parisi.
Man. These tattoos have come a long way since it was like mom or an anchor. Like, remember Popeye's anchor on his forearm, right?
Right.
Like what you've just shown, like, here's Popeye's anchor. Right? Like, that was
right.
Okay. Like, they've come a long way.
Yes. A long way. You're not kidding. It's so true. Let's see. Then I have Jacinto Pinto. It's the same picture essentially, but one had a little bit better light, but I just wanted to put them both there.
Right.
The red flag. I love the ones with color. And is it true that certain colors hurt more than other colors? Is that true?
Well, yeah, it is. From none of the tattoos I've gotten, that's correct.
Mike Ferrara, we know him.
All right. Now, there is something very interesting about this. I think at the end, I'm gonna come back and talk about this one. All right, we'll keep going. But
Yeah.
boy, that has got something that appeals to me.
It's cool. It's just like, I don't know, it hits hard. You know what
It
I'm saying?
does.
Yeah,
It does.
very, very, very quickly. Like, you don't have to study it. You just know what it is immediately, you know?
Right.
And then our favorite Marine, Austin Gomes. He's
Oh,
episode 2.
isn't that
Yep,
awesome?
love it. It looks
Sky.
new. That looks pretty fresh, I think.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
don't think he
new?
had that when he took the tour. I think that is something new. I remember him. I think he sent that to me a little while back.
Yeah. Then this is Joe Oropeza. He was one of, and I forget his episode, but Eye of the Tiger.
Very cool.
I'm like, and on the hand, I heard the hand is extremely painful, and I don't know if I would have gotten through more than 3 letters. So
Nice.
Eye of the Tiger, we love. This one is 8 years old. So Carlos Arenas, he got
The
this on his
tattoo
the
is 8
tattoo
years old.
is 8 years old.
I was going to say that's the hairiest 8-year-old I've ever seen.
So he, and I was like, hey, you put ink on your body, that's Rocky.
Wow.
Like, I don't care how good any of these are. That's love, because
Yes,
I could not sit through it. I couldn't do it.
Me either.
Let's see. We got a few left. Johnny Farron.
I'm waiting to see some with the hat. Nice.
Yeah. Fedora. Let's see. S.J. Dickerson. This looks brandy new. See, you can see the, like, don't they cover it? It looks like it's covered with a little piece of plastic or something.
Again, from none of my experience, I will say, yes, you're right.
And then this one I love. It's actually personal. This is Lorenzo Leonard, and this is his father's initials. And so this is sort of a tribute to Rocky, because his father loved Rocky, but it's also a tribute to his dad.
That's wonderful.
So I was like, oh, that's sweet. So
nice.
I love family. And then, oh, look, here's another one. This is Mark R. Look at this. So this is across his chest.
Wow.
It's you're going to have to go to Instagram and sort of magnify this one, because this is the speech, the keep punching speech across his chest. Okay. And then on his shoulder. And then
it ain't over till it's over.
Yep. And then keep punching on, I believe that is his calf, just above his ankle. So
keep punching. I think that's the only keep punching tattoo, right?
Right. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Look at that. I have an affinity for keep punching, but yeah. Wow, interesting. I almost thought the chest was a Eye of the Tiger thing.
Yeah.
It looked like the tiger was crawling up the bicep and the shoulder, and then the claw was clawing it. But I clearly see now that it's, written. What is underneath the words, Stacy?
I can't, it looks like stars and clouds, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I just enlarged my screen. I see it. Yes, you're right. Awesome.
Yeah, that was painful. Then here is our last one. And this is Andrew. These two.
Nice.
Love.
Nice. Andrew Bamford. Sure. Yeah. Big Andrew from the UK.
Yeah.
Hello, Andrew. It's good to see your tattoos again. Well done.
So yeah.
So what sticks out for you?
Well, to me, I mean, my 2 favorites are Danny. The 2 videos. They sent me videos, and I can't get over the artistry and matching the expression. And it's like having 10 tattoos all the way around your leg. Yeah. And I like the colors, and it's very precise, and it grabs from different moments. So I love them all, but that one I was like, wow. And then of course, so that's Danny's. That was the video here. Yeah. And then my second favorite one was Sebastian, which just love that moment. Yeah. Love Rocky IV.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand. So. All right. I am going to give an honorable mention to Corey Lavore. He gets an honorable. I'm going to go with 3, just because I get to change the rules whenever I want. So I'm going to go with Corey's. I think the wrapping of the fist alongside the face and the arm with it ain't about how hard you can hit. I think that is fantastic. Well done, Corey. I see that passion as I see it on everyone's that's sending the tap pictures, but I really appreciate that. Yeah. Second, Danny Smith, he's going to take second place. No doubt about it. Not that Danny Smith he may have the best art of all of them. I know that's debatable and arguable, but Danny Smith's no surprise there, was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, there it is. The fact that it went all the way around his calf, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And the calf is a sensitive area. But I'm going to go with my buddy Mike Ferrara, because there is something about Mike's tattoo. And if we could leave that on the screen only for just until I get done babbling for a moment. All right, Mike Ferrara. So I've had the pleasure of getting to know Mike, and he may or may not have shown me this tattoo when he took the tour. I can't recall, but this is what I don't think I'd ever get a tattoo. But if I did, it would be along the lines of this. And I say it for several reasons. I love the simplicity on this. Mm-hmm. Number one, I've always loved the Italian Stallion logo. And mm-hmm. I don't know who came up with the Snorting Stallion. Was that marketing? Was that Sylvester Stallone? That is one of the questions I really want to ask him on the podcast, because that's always been chipping away at my sanity, where that came from. And then he has one more round. To me, it resembles the Italian Stallion printed on Rocky's back of his sweatshirt. Just handwritten, not exactly the greatest penmanship, but it comes from passion. It comes from inside, from the heart. And that's why I think I love this more than the other ones, because this isn't as flashy. This doesn't have maybe the level of design. This is very simple. And that's how I am. I'm a very simple human being. And when it comes to this, is something I would say, maybe I can get a tattoo that I can just put on and take off whenever I want, if I feel like walking around it. Yeah. And that would be something along those lines.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm that committed yet.
Yeah, that's my kind of tattoo.
Exactly.
Hey, Mike, do you hear that? Do you hear that?
I heard something. I do, Stacy.
I think our guest has made it.
We have a guest today. I can't believe what poor soul signed up to be a guest on this show.
Hey,
what?
Don't say that.
All right, I take it back. See what happens? Even I get in trouble, and I have to go to the principal's office at the end of the show. That's it.
Our guest is Christina. I am always so happy to have some females on who are as crazy as I am about Rocky. And this
would you send Barbara down to the green room to bring Christina in, please?
Yes, I will be right back with her. Christina, here you are. Come on in. Yay!
Hi guys, how's it going?
Hi, Christina. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Confused, dazed, and beaten. But
I mean, it's just Tuesday.
Yes, it's a typical Rocky day.
Right?
That's it. This is what we love here at the Rocky Files podcast. I am so grateful that you are here, because I think your story is absolutely brilliant, and we are going to get to that in just a minute. Stacy,
you're a fighter, figuratively and actually. So those pictures I have pictures ready to go. So if you want to tell us about your journey into that, I was like, wow, she's tough. She's a tough girl. Go ahead.
It wasn't always like that. I'll be honest. Like, I was the most naive. I was soft-skinned. Like, reality hit me, and it didn't hit me until high school. Like Mike said, like, high school develops everybody, and it makes you really think about the future, but also develop that thick skin, and you really figure out who the heck you are and how much you can actually take with what's around you. And so basically, like, with Rocky, my parents, I guess that rule is like a thing where, like, if it's on TV, you don't change a channel, because they didn't. And they were always famous for, if something came on from when they grew up or whatever, they would keep it on, and me and my brothers would just watch it. So, like, I was like, oh, this is cool. I was kind of like into it, but like, it never really resonated with me until I was in like grade 10 geography class, and my teacher was like, hey, have you ever like thought about like wrestling? And I was like WWE wrestling? And he's like, no, like amateur Olympic style wrestling. I was like, oh, like, no, my mom would kill me kind of thing. He's like, well, we need some smaller people, specifically women. Would you be interested in trying out? I was like, sure, like what do I have to lose? And at this point, I kind of outgrew the basketball team because again, I'm only like 4'11", and in high school, my high school is known for sports, so like it grew out of me. Like I wasn't tall enough really.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. And I was really okay at it. And I loved it. I was like, wow, like it made me feel empowered. It gave me a sense of confidence. And I loved it. But I didn't know how to break it to my parents, right? So I went home and I said to my mom, hey, I have a tournament coming up. So she thought it was a basketball tournament. We went to the local, she came to the local high school, and she's kind of walking in doing one of these. And I run up to her and I'm like, hey, like, how's it going? And she's like, what gym are you in? I was like, this one. She's like, what are they doing? And I'm like, they're wrestling. I'm on the next mat in like 10 minutes. You come in, kind of thing. And she's like, are you kidding? Like, you could just see that she was not impressed. And my mom is like very Italian, very old school, very much like she was just not having it. And so she watched me wrestle. And after I got off the mat, I did really well. And my mom was like into it. Like, she's screaming, like, get her, like freaking out. And I've never seen that side of my mom ever.
Wow.
And she was like a bear, like Mama Bear came out, and I was like,
no.
This is nuts. So after I got off the mat, she goes, so this is what you want to do with your life? I was like, yeah. She's like, well, if you get hurt, it's your own problem. I was like, okay. And that's kind of how that ended. And my dad obviously was all for it. Like, he was never going to say no to me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So when I started afterwards, they kind of got rid of the girls wrestling team. I guess the coach just thought it was a distraction, didn't want anything to do with it after a couple years. And I was like, this is my last year. It's not over till it's over. Like, I'm finishing. I trained really hard. And so I, went in as like an independent. So kind of on my own, didn't care who was going to be on my corner and who wasn't, and did fairly well. And after that, like, Rocky then started to resonate more with me. Like, you start watching it from 1 through 5. This is before Balboa. And I was like, wow, like him feeling like, so in Rocky 1, when Mickey's going down the stairs and he's yelling everything, like, it stinks, this stinks, you don't think I know that? Like, I felt like that. I felt like that feeling out of college, and like knowing that journalism wasn't my thing. I felt like it was a waste of time. And I was like, I felt that. And then with training, I felt like a little bit defeated because, like, where was I going to go from there? And then my dad had mentioned that there was a martial arts gym just down the street. So he's like, maybe you should go check it out. They have a thing called grappling, which is basically like jujitsu, but it's a mix of MMA with it. Wow. And so I was like, okay. So I went down there and did the jujitsu class. And this guy named Mark, he came up to me and he goes, have you done this before? I was like, no. And he's like, but you've wrestled, right? And I was like, is it that obvious? Because like in jujitsu, it's kind of reversed. So he's like, I think you should come to the grappling class. I feel like that would be something you would be interested in. So I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? Like, these people are giving me opportunities. What do I have to lose? Right. So I went, and he took a chance on me. I was the smallest, only girl in this class. I had a passion for then competing MMA. So this is before the UFC was legalized in my province of Ontario, and it was just coming into mainstream. So not only were not many people doing it, but not very many women were even bothering with it. So I was training with men, all much bigger than me, and I just wanted to do the best I could with what I had. And so from there, just trained. And Mark took a chance on me, and he let me use my size to my advantage. And I can tell you that anytime that someone new came into the gym and they were kind of a meathead, they would put him with me, and they're like, you're going to work with Christina. She's going to kind of show you the ropes. And they would kind of look at me like, are you effing kidding me? This girl's going to show me the ropes. And so either they were respectful and worked with a woman and, were humbled by that, or they never came back. And that's kind of how they weeded out the meatheads of the group. Yeah. And then from there, it got really competitive. I trained really hard for the Arnold Classic, which, if anybody's been to the Arnold Classic, it's basically bodybuilders and stuff, and they entered in the martial arts part of it. And all the women were bigger than me. Like, I was at the bottom of the bottom. And so I got my face wiped with the mat. I'll be honest. I went home with my tail between my legs going, what the heck was I thinking? That was way out of my league. Yeah. I had my pity party, just like everybody. I felt a little bit broken, and I went back to the gym, and they were like, no, we're gonna do this, and you'll do it next year. So I found another coach that specialized in strength and conditioning. Was a CrossFit coach. He loved to inflict physical pain on people when it came to like really putting them to their potential. And for someone my size, he really pushed me. And by the time I got to the Arnold Classic, he Mark, and another coach all worked with me, and I ended up placing second in my division. And the girl that beat me was literally like Drago. Like, she was enormous.
Really?
So like, when I say Rocky 4 is my favorite, and Mike, I know that like it's not your favorite really, except for the
No, it's fine. It's fine. Rocky 4 is great.
who are you trying to kiss?
No, I know.
I like her.
She's what did I tell you, Stacy, about honesty? That's the
I love
best,
it.
right?
I love it.
So when I say Rocky 4 is my favorite, it's because it resonated with me the most because of the training aspect.
Yeah.
Like that grind, that kind of isolating yourself to focus on what's important and getting the job done is basically what I had to do. Like, I went to work, I trained, I was dedicated to my diet because I needed to fuel my body, and it, like, my body hurt every day. Every day I was like, I have nothing, like, I have to do this. Like, there's like, why am I going to go through all this not to finish? So that's what resonates with me the most with Rocky 4. With a lot of other things, like, I really like, especially in today's day and age, if he can change and Drago can change, everybody can change type of thing. And I like that because I think everybody needs a little bit more of that today. And I think that it's a really great message. So that really resonated with me as well.
Yeah.
And then life got in the way, like everything, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So go ahead, Mike.
I love that you got your ass kicked when you
did
that. You probably couldn't tell, but I got choked up for about 5 seconds because I heard you move right past the getting your ass kicked and you kept going. That is what is missing, I think, in a lot of people, whether they're young or older or whatever. It's that fear of failing. It's that fear of failing. I don't know I hope the gravity of what you accomplished has hit you, because to fail, your words, in an epic way in front of people like that, and hey, we'd all have the pity party. Sure, we all would. But then I'm going to get another trainer. I keep going and I'm going to see what happens and where this goes. That in and of itself is absolutely remarkable. And to me is the very definition of keep moving forward, keep punching. It is that Rocky philosophy. I cannot tell you, Christina, how proud I am of you in that moment. That if I take nothing away from this, but that is brilliant to me. I mean, so with the people in your life at this time, when you're failing, what mother, father, relative, partner, spouses, whatever, what goes through their minds?
So obviously nobody in your circle wants to see you fail, and nobody wants you to feel that low and that broken. So they gave me that space, but they didn't allow me to stay there because, like that quote says to the kid, like, life is going to beat you and keep you there permanently if you let it. And so keeping that in mind, they let me have my time, but they weren't going to let me give up because they knew that I had it in me to keep pushing forward. And so when I felt like, I'm just going to give it up, it wasn't going to happen. Like, even like, I wasn't on a mat for like 12 years because life happened. And I remember my husband, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, but my husband, he was like, I don't know why you stopped grappling. Like, you really loved that. I don't know why you stopped that. You really loved that. And I didn't realize how much of it completed me as a person. Like, when Rocky says, like, fighters fight, and when he talked about that stuff in the basement in Balboa and how he just can't breathe because there's so many unfinished things that are there. Grappling and martial arts gave me that outlet, as it did for him in boxing, to get that out and leave it out on the table. And I didn't realize how much it completed me as a person and allowed me to get that aggression out and that anxiety and that stress out in a positive way that was healthy for me, until it wasn't there anymore. So when life happened, I had multiple people in my circle say, why don't you start doing that again? But with the UFC being as big as it was super hard to find a authentic, committed, non-meathead gym that was very respectful of the art. And I was very particular with who I was going to train with and how that was going to go down. Because again, although I am probably so much heavier than what I was then, I still want to make sure that I'm being taken care of with my partners. And I'm not going to accept anything less than that, because I would take care of them as well, male or female. So during COVID, when things were really bad, well, everybody had it bad, I guess. Mark had reached out to me and he said, hey, I'm opening a gym. Are you interested? And I was like, oh, I said to my husband, I don't know. Like, I'm, 100 pounds heavy. Like, I don't know. And he's like, but look how much you loved it. And I think it's really coming at a time that you need this. I was like, okay, so I'll give it a go, I guess. So after everything in my province slowly opened up, because we're still a little bit behind with all of that. I went into the gym and I looked around and he's like, so how do you feel? I said, very overwhelmed, so scared. And I have no idea what you're thinking, bringing me back to this gym. And so I said, what's the catch? Right. And he said, listen, I have some women that want to train and I can't think of anybody better to motivate them and show them what it's about than you. And I was like, shoot, like that's a lot. And these girls, these women knew who I was when I walked through that door, and I was like terrified, and they were intimidated, but I was more intimidated to them because they were in great shape and I'm walking in after having a baby and life, and I'm just like, Jesus, how am I going to do this? And I'm looking at it like it's this mountain. I'm like, well, sink or swim kind of, right? It ain't over till it's over. Let's get this going. And so it's been a great outlet for me. And like the thing is, I'm a boy mom now, so I think, you know, I was very blessed with having a boy because I don't think that I would have meshed with a female unless he was, you know, a tomboy of some sort like I was. But it's going to be cool at some point. I think I was telling Mike this, how like my son can be on the side of the mat and watch me train and be like, that's my mom. We're typically in a, you know, atypical setting and be like, oh, that's my dad. My dad does this. My dad does that. We're like, you know, your mom's the physical one. Your mom's the one that's in a very, high contact sport. And, you know, I did boxing, I did kickboxing, I've done grappling and judo and all of that stuff. And it's cool that he can see that and then have that respect for women moving into the world as well, to know that, you know, you want someone who's going to be on that pedestal with you, that's going to fight with you. So yeah. And I mean, my first real Rocky experience was when Balboa came out, and I swear to God, I'm sitting in the theater and I'm sweating and I'm like, oh my God, I literally can't believe this movie's happening. I literally can't believe he's coming out with another movie and I'm alive and like old enough to like experience this. And I'm sitting on the edge of my seat sweating as if I'm actually like in the arena, like getting ready for him to fight, because everything he was going through, I've gone through, like that grit with the training, life, like all of that stuff, I get it. And when he was talking about the stuff in the basement, losing people, just fighting through all of that and still trying to keep a good head on your shoulders and a positive head, like it's hard. Like it breaks you in all different ways you didn't know you could be broken. And so I remember sitting there and I whispered to my husband, I said, I think I am one of the only females sitting here that was not forced to come, because all the other women were on their phone, kind of sitting there, stuffing their face. I'm like, let's get this going. I can't wait. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over. I was like sweating buckets. I was like, that was the best. But when that quote came with the kid, I broke down in the movie theater because my husband and I went through a time where his sister had passed away from bladder cancer, and we had just like got back together. Like we broke up for 5 years and then we found our way back. And so she had 3 kids, and one of them, you know, didn't have a father. And he looked at me when he knew his sister, like she wasn't pulling out of it. And he goes, listen, like, I know we've been working on us and I know we have hopes and dreams and all of that. He goes, but you know, this little girl has nobody and I want to raise her. And how do you feel? And what was I going to say? No, we've invested in this relationship. And, you know, just like Adrian and Rocky, like you're a pair and you're just going to stick it through and fight together. Right. Because like Adrian said, like all those fights Rocky went through, they went through together. She felt it just as much as he did. So in this time, I very much felt like I was also a punching bag during that time for him. And so we grinded through it. And so that speech really hit home, because I mean, we were in a place where like, if we were going to let life beat us there, it was not going to be good for anybody. And, you know, she was 4 at the time and now she just turned 14 and she's going into 9th grade and we have a teenager and it's crazy and new world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Most couples, and I did feel a bit of a crunch because, you know, a typical Italian family, and I hate to say it, but it's typical, when you're getting married, when you're having kids, blah, blah, blah. And everybody in my family that was my age or a little bit older was already married, had kids, and had a house, where we very much were working backwards. We adopted her. I went back to school and built a career in early childhood education. My husband built a business and then got recruited and is doing very well in his field now. Wow. And, you know, for a while there, you know, it was tough. And just like when Rocky lost everything or when he started with nothing, that's kind of where we were. And now we're comfortable. Right. And we wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't fight together and we didn't keep pushing forward together. Right. So I'm just very thankful to have that. And it was a constant reminder, to the point where at my wedding, my maid of honor was like, doing this speech, and she said, I don't know if you guys know, but she's a huge Rocky fan, and she lives and breathes this. And she said it out loud, and then you could just hear the group just kind of go silent, because that's what I live and breathe. Like, it's just a really good message, no matter what no matter where you are in life, right? So,
wow,
yeah.
Wow. To me, you are a parallel journey to Rocky, because you keep
very much.
You keep comparing it to Rocky 4, but to me, you're Rocky 3.
It's all of them.
You know what I'm saying? It is all of them, but I was thinking Rocky 3, and he loses, and then he's afraid, and your bounce back was like Mike said, was fast, and you're like, no, I'm gonna train, and I'm gonna be back, and I'm gonna beat my clubber, and and you did.
Yeah, I was saying to my husband, like, at first I was like, I don't even know, like, I didn't think people thought like I did. And then when I saw this podcast, I was like, oh my God, there's a whole community of people that are just like me. I love it.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And then I started like going around going, okay, Mike's tour, and this and this and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and
I can't wait.
You'll see me.
Honestly, I can't wait. I mean, it's the reason why Stacy and I do this, is to connect with fans, because I feel like for people that have taken my tour, and a lot of them have touched me profoundly. So I like to extend that by bringing them onto the show. But obviously, in your case, I haven't seen you yet, or got a chance to give you a tour. So, but I know if you did take the tour first, I would have had you on anyways, because you're that type of individual, just from our communications on Instagram, from your posts. And there's just something that is a very, very profound Rocky fan inside you. That really is true. What a story. I mean, Stacy, you said her bounce back was so fast. My bounce back is about 7 years after every failure, so it takes me a long time to bounce back. But now women, especially you, Christina, but also women in general, I think they just bounce better than men do. I don't know if that's, maybe I'm using a broad stroke, but all the women I know in my life are very strong individuals, and you are no doubt the same mold, Christina. That's
I wouldn't have been able, like, I can't take all the credit, because I wouldn't have been able to have that if I didn't have my circle, and your circle is so important.
Agreed.
Really, when my husband and I were going through that time with his niece and like adopting her and everything, there were a lot of people that ended up kind of pushing away, and they were just, who your friends are in situations like that, right? When you're making decisions based off of, you're letting your dreams go out the window to, help pay for certain like funeral costs, and you have like this new child that you don't have anything for, and you have to now provide, and switch over your, like, a lot of people are just like, do you really want to do that though? Do you really want to raise someone else's kid? Well, do you know that what can come with that? And I'm not saying it's been easy. Like, girls in this day and age, it's hard. High school's hard. The internet and their phones. I'm so glad she hasn't had a phone yet. Like, I've been prolonging it, but like those things emotionally eat at them. And the only thing that I wish that we can pass on to her is just to keep pushing forward and don't stay in that spot. And like, my mom and my dad and my brothers were huge in my, in all of that. Like, they were the people that caught me when I fell and didn't let me stay on that ground. And then my husband, I always joke that he's not really my Adrian, that he's more of my Mickey. He tells you how it is. He pushes me out of my comfort zone. He is blunt. He is honest, but he's also compassionate, and he also wants to protect me in any way he can. So if I'm hurting, I know he's hurting, but he knows that I have to go through that in order to learn from it and keep moving forward, right? So he just doesn't let me sit in that cesspool of whatever it is I'm going through. So they very much deserve a lot of the credit too. And I just kind of just kept going. Like, you have no choice. If you just stay there, it's not good for anybody.
Christina, when is your first TED Talk?
I don't know.
You should do one. You should apply.
Should do one.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can connect with Lisa Bradshaw, because she's episode 16. She did a TED Talk.
Yeah, Lisa.
You're TED Talk girl for sure.
You are. The both of you are both badasses. So yes, in the best possible way. That's remarkable. So let me ask you this: What is your favorite Rocky? Is it the original? I'm assuming it's the original. No, it's Rocky 4. You did say Rocky 4.
Is my favorite. It's my favorite for a lot of different reasons. But you know what? I think that because Balboa was my first Rocky experience, and I think in a time where it's, when something comes into your life and you just really needed that, like you read something or you see something somewhere or a sign somewhere and you just really need that. I really needed that. And so I think forever, like so my son has been sick with like different toddler diseases. And so I thought, well, why not go through the Rocky saga? Why not go through the whole thing? So he and I are on Creed 2 now, and we're now prepared for the new one that may or may not come out. I'm not sure. But so when I watched Balboa, I broke down crying in a lot of different spots because I was like, wow, like I felt that and I went through that and I know exactly how that feels. And so like I found myself tearing up more this time around with more life-oriented things that were in there rather than training-oriented things. So I saw it from both angles, but more the family, the love story, that kind of stuff. That's what resonated with me this time around, watching it in my late 30s rather than my early 20s. So, and then it was just so funny because the song came on and he was, I think it was Rocky 4. He was doing his training montage. The music came on. And my son just put his hands up and I was like, are you kidding me? Is someone punking me right now? And I was like, listen, this kid's going to be a boxer, a wrestler or something. And I can't wait for that.
Nice.
That's what it's
all about. I'm
getting
the shadow box too.
Yeah, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Listen, what did you think about the director's cut of Rocky 4?
I liked it. I did. I liked it. I really did.
It was different. It was a different take. Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I love all that. I'm a nerd for all that stuff. Like, I bought the box set and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting all of the extra footage that I can possibly get my hands on. Like in the time that I bought it, it was not cheap. And then I came out with Balboa and I was like, are you kidding me? I have to get another one. But like you said, I want to see the extras. I watch all the documentaries I can on any of that stuff or anything in general. I just love the back end of everything and like how it came to be. And so that was really cool to see. And I'm glad it was done in a time of COVID where you have the time to settle down and really think about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very much so. And it'll be really the new 4K, the Rocky 6-pack 4K is going to be released in either November or March. And so they're also going to put in the Rocky 4 director's cut and the making of the director's cut, which is kind of cool.
All of it.
Wow. Yeah. And I think there might be a few extras thrown in, but the majority of extras are still not going to be seen, which is just a damn shame in my opinion.
Yeah. Huge shame.
Yeah, I don't kind of understand that, but whatever. That's another podcast.
Right.
That's another podcast. No, Christian, this is amazing. You I think your story surpassed like anything. It's more important to have you say your story than even on paper because your enthusiasm, your energy, and I think watching you light up at certain points still after all this time, I think that brings some serious weight. Wouldn't you agree, Stace?
Yeah, the thing, you're all of it. You're all the things. You're all the quotes. You're all the moments.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'll say it again. You've learned from every single movie and you actually experienced something from every single movie. And and don't get me wrong, I love all our guests. I love all our stories, but they gravitate or their experience is mostly Rocky 2 or mostly one of them or maybe two of them. And you have all of them. You have and I was like, wow, she's gone the whole distance.
Yeah, when I watched them all, I actually thought about it because I had caught up. I binge listened to the entire podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Like anytime I had a chance to put it on at work, in the car, in the shower, anywhere, I put it on. I think my son knows just as much as I do now. I don't know how much he takes in. I have no idea. But so when I was going through them, I was like, oh, and I forgot about that. And I forgot. So like I kind of went through and I just started making little notes. Like that's why I react. Like this is why I feel the way I do, and this is why this resonates with me. And it was really cool to see. I didn't think it was going to be right across. Like even Rocky 5, there's some nuggets in there too. Like just kind of sitting on the sideline and training people and stuff. Like that's kind of where I am now. And I might have that person that's just going to want to one up me and go have at her kind of thing. And it's interesting. And like the stuff that Rocky went through with his son in Rocky 5 with the whole, I'm assuming he's in high school or junior high of some sort. Yeah. And so just all of that, I'm actually going through that with my niece right now. Like I'm not her favorite person. She hates my guts. Like, this is someone who is not replacing her mom, but is the mother figure. And she's never had a dad, so no one to compare to, but she has someone to compare to now. Yeah. And so we're not seeing too much eye to eye. It's just like that teenager stuff. And she's not understanding where I'm coming from. And so like that whole kid thing did make me like tear up a little bit. Cause I'm like, like you don't know until it's kind of just thrown in your face, and you're like, holy, where did this come from?
Yeah.
I thought we were like a home team, and like here we are, and I don't know who you are anymore, and you don't know who I am anymore, and so we're working through that right now. So that was my Rocky 5.
Oh my gosh.
Well, listen, you're in good company because, you know, from the age of 13, I was at 13 until about 22. My parents were the biggest fools on the planet. They were uneducated. They were just stupid. And then I woke up one day and I went over for dinner and I was just listening. I was like, what did you get so smart? You know so much about everything. And they said, no, it wasn't us. You woke up, you grew. You understood some of what we were saying, and that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna come around with you, Christina.
Yeah, I always say to her, like, one day
she will.
When you get amped, I'm like, one day you're gonna feel really stupid because you're gonna know that I was right about this, and this. You know what I mean? And it's gonna come at a time where, and for me, it came in when we first got her, because I remember my mom raised 3 children. She was like my mom and my dad, kind of, because my dad worked a lot to help, pay for everything, whatever.
Sure.
So my mom was at my wrestling tournaments, my baseball, whatever it was that we were into, and she had 3 of us. And I remember when I first experienced like cleaning a playroom and organizing stuff, I like broke down, like, I am so sorry. And like just some of the conversations I had to have with my niece, and like some certain things, like just my mom's now become like my best friend, my right hand woman. Like her and my nonna has like that. I don't know, like that inspiration. Like she can tell you something that's so rude, but because she said it, you're like, oh yeah, you're totally right. Like, and she says in the nicest, most polite, and most religious way she possibly can. Message, and you're just like, thank you, I needed that. You know what I mean? She has a way with words, and then together, like really, I hope I can be like them, and I know that you'll wake up at some point. It's just working through that and trying to stay positive and trying to hold yourself together, because emotionally that it breaks you.
The thing I love about people, Christina, is when you can tell someone with a verbal brick wrapped in bubble wrap how the situation is, this is what's going down. That, to me, if you can deliver it in a way, you're not sinister, you're not like over empowering or shoving it down their throat, but you're being very blunt, very honest, but it's wrapped with love and sincerity.
Right.
I think you can say anything to anybody. I really believe that.
Yeah. And I want to encourage you. It does come around, and my, I call them my 2 kids, but my one child is Sarah. And then my husband's son, John, we were the same. John and I were the same. We did not see eye to eye. It was really tough, but I'm like, look, you make this decision, this is what's going to happen. You make that decision, this is what's going to happen. He didn't want to hear it. He's 22. Finally, and he hasn't said it to me yet, but he's saying it to Kevin. He's like, I understand Stacy now better than I did before. So I just want to encourage you that getting to that point can be a long journey, but it will happen, because honestly, there were times that I'm like, I don't think this kid is ever going to get my intent or how I'm trying to guide him, and that I'm not your enemy here. I don't make up this stuff. I know how this story ends if you go this way or that way, what I mean? And so she'll come around. I promise you she'll come around. It takes time, but she will.
The emotions though, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not built that way. I was never built that way. So that's been a learning curve for me, to be a little bit more like, I don't know, like just a little bit softer, I guess, with certain things, because that's never been my thing. Like I've just like fight or fight. You go through it. That's my mentality. If there's a wall, you gotta find a way to break it down, whether you're chiseling it a little bit or go through it all together. But I can't, I don't live in my head very often. And so I don't understand that sometimes. So I've been doing a lot since I'm in the field of early childhood education. I do have a lot of professional learning available to me when it comes to mental health and like these kind of things. So it's been super beneficial to support myself with that without, as a parent, you're always learning, and there's no book, and you just have to figure it out and go the path you think is right with what you have.
There may be no book, but there are 6 movies that will help you along the way. Okay.
100%.
That is for sure.
I should sit her down and be like, you need to watch 1 through all of them.
I was going to say that's got to be the.
That's all the parenting you'll ever need. You don't have to do anything else. They'll figure it out. Hey, I want to ask you about those pink gloves. Listen, I love those. Do you train with the pink gloves? Isn't that great? I love that.
I had a pair of black ones because I was like, I'm not getting a pair of pink. Like I was never going to. And the black ones got really worn and really ripped because I started learning how to box because I was out at a club in my early 20s and someone tried to throw one at me and I realized I don't know how to take this. Like it wasn't a thing I loved it, but I was like, I loved watching it. I didn't love being it. So I went back to the gym and said to one of my coaches, hey, I need to learn how to take a punch and throw a punch just in case. And so I had a pair of black gloves that someone lent me and I beat the heck out of them and really trained. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears soaked into them. And then I bought these ones and I just thought it was funny because walking to the gym, when you see me, I kind of just there's not much to me. I'm like 4'11", like I'm just very under the radar. And now I have these pink gloves. And then when I throw a punch or I'm doing a combination or I couldn't find my MMA gloves, but like anything like that, they're just like, whoa. So it's kind of like a psych for me. I just think it's funny. Yeah. So I love my pink gloves. And then those my wrestling boots I've had since like, I want to say 2001. No. Wow. Yeah, 2001.
Wow. What are the little jars? Is that like, what is that? Nail polish?
No.
What is that?
No,
I didn't think it was, but.
No, my mom would know.
Yeah, definitely not nail polish. Okay.
I'm into a lot of like natural wellness. And so anything I can do naturally to support my body, I do. So I use a lot of natural remedies like essential oils. And that's basically my stock for when I'm like sick because, sick, digestion, pain and inflammation, all that kind of stuff. Like I have a supply. So I don't only use it for me. I use it for my whole family. So I just make sure I have whatever I need on hand. And that's basically what that is.
You got, yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Hey, Stacy, before we let Christina get out of here, back to the family, back to wrestling and just, beating people to a pulp. What do you got left you'd like to talk about?
I just wanted to give you a chance. I'm going to show a couple of these pictures if that's okay with you. Yeah, here we go.
That's my son Dominic and I. We were just, it was one of the days where we just like hang out, and I think that was a rocky day for us.
Cute. And then this one.
That was in my early 20s when I said I was training for the Arnold Classic, I participated at the CrossFit gym in this meathead challenge. And so my coach at the time, Adam, was pushing me out of my comfort zone and trying to get me to lift and be super strong. I didn't look it like I didn't like, I don't know, like look like a bodybuilder type of thing. I just had a lot of power to my technique.
Yeah. Wow. Right.
Yeah.
That's
me training with a gi. So gi is a little bit different. You can use that fabric to it's part of like a judo type of thing, and you can use the fabric to do chokes and any kind of body manipulation. So I was just choking somebody.
It looks like you're putting the guy into making his back into a pretzel.
Yeah, so he actually has an arm bar applied, and he also has a choke applied. So either way, he was tapping.
Wow.
Jesus.
And this here.
Yeah, that's me practicing my boxing with my black gloves.
Wow.
And these are like typically the types of people I would train with. They're much bigger, obviously, a little bit heavier. And at that time, I was probably 110 pounds in that picture.
Okay.
Jesus.
Maybe.
And then the last one is there that I have. Yep.
Yeah. Me practicing my technique again.
Does your husband keep the house very clean? Does he do the dishes?
Does
he ever backtalk you?
He does. I mean, he does. And you know what? I can't complain. He's really great around the house. Like he takes care of Dominic if I have to go to the gym or I have anything else I need to do. Like he's very involved and he does support. Like I don't know, when I hear like other wives talk about like, oh, my husband doesn't do that, I'm just like, well, I don't know what that's like because I don't have that. So we both like respect each other's roles in this house and as people. And when I say that we're like literally together and there's no one behind the other, it's literally like that. So I can't ask for a better partner in life because sometimes we're each other's like punching bags, sometimes we're each other's support beam, sometimes we're just living life and doing crazy adventures together.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's amazing. That is amazing. All right, Stace, you're good with all your questions.
I'm good. You were lovely. You're TED Talk for you for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm giving you homework.
definitely could be on a TED Talk. So, Christina, on this show we ask all of our guests. You got 30 seconds in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone. What do you say to him?
I think I would ask him after all the years of the Rocky saga, what made him want to do Balboa? Why was that important to him to have that done?
Right.
Yeah.
Great question.
Unless you know the answer, Mike.
I do know the answer, but I will save that for Sylvester to come on, and that'll be hopefully one of our. We're going to do a whole video of people asking questions, and so hopefully we'll get him to ask that. If not, I will write you a message and tell you why.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You have been an absolute kick-ass armbar jiu-jitsu pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
I was like so nervous a little bit, but then I was like, you know what? It is what it is. It's in God's hands.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. You did absolutely fantastic. Christina, as we always say goodbye to everybody, keep punching.
Keep punching. You guys.
See you, my friend.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye. What a champion.
I love how just resilient she is. And, Rocky's not a big guy, and she's, you know what I'm saying? And she's this little peanut of a thing and tough as nails. And so was Rocky. I don't know. She's all of it. She's every moment.
She's absolutely a brilliant specimen of what humans can aspire to be when you keep trying and you don't let that fear rule your life.
Yeah.
And she is a living personification of Rocky. She really, really is. And
I think really is.
I think a lot of people watching this are really going to appreciate her story and be very impressed with her. I really believe that. Amazing young woman.
Yeah. And I think I said it last time, that you get talked out of your goal, or you have a little failure and you're like, oh, never mind. I guess that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
No
way.
You got to keep going. You got to accept being new. You got to accept maybe failing a few times before it works. And she is all that, she is. She kept going. So loved her.
Just an absolute brilliant human being. And I cannot wait to take her on a tour to tell her many small stories, all the minutia that Sly shared with me and what I've learned. Right. I think she's going to get a kick out of it. I really think she's going to get a kick out of it.
That's going to be a fun tour. You're going to have a blast with her.
Yeah, I better not say anything wrong, because she'll give me the arm bar across the face. Where am I going? Oh my God, what are you doing to me?
You better have your facts straight.
Exactly. I better not miss a beat. No stuttering, no stammering.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Christina. Okay, Miss Christina. Can I get the door for you, Miss Christina? Well, Christina, again, thank you very much. All right, what do we have? We got to get out of here, Stacy.
Yeah,
we both have. We both have such a busy, hectic schedule. I mean, what could possibly be said that hasn't been said already today?
Well, next time I'm going to open with Tiffany Safard, Brian's wife, who we've been talking about because she's really wanted to make his 50th birthday special. So after his 50th birthday, she sent me some video of his birthday. It is decked out, Rocky style, Rocky cutouts, Rocky cake.
Nice.
Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. And I'm going to save it for next time, because I knew that Christina had a worthwhile story, and we really wanted to spend some extra time. But if anyone is ever wondering what to get for a Rocky fan, basically just duplicate Brian's birthday.
Wow.
Exactly the way Tiffany did it, because it is a very cool
nice
stuff. Yeah, I'm going to show it next time, so it's fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, that's it, my friend. I think we're good.
I think we are good. I think this has been a great podcast. I think we've made people laugh. We've informed them, and we've reminded them, do not ever quit. Keep punching, keep moving, keep going. Yeah. And Stacy, where can people find you to hear more of this wisdom and insight?
I'm at Had Me at Yo on Instagram, and the Rocky Files on Instagram, and the Rocky Files podcast on Facebook. And Michael, what about you?
I am on Instagram. It's a little social media chat thing. I don't know if you people have heard about it. The Yo Philly Rocky Film Tour. You can check me out on the Rocky Files. You can. I wrote a little book. It's called, there it is. Cue the Rocky music. There it is. Look at that nice shiny cover. That is a picture of the lockers that I was stuffed into as a kid in the school locker room. Yeah, it was not a great story. There's a lot of stories like that in there. And so, you can check that out. And there's also a little movie called The Pretender. It is on Amazon. It's on Tubi Television. It's all over the place. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. And there's even a little cameo at the end from a guy whose name rhymes with Rallone. I couldn't get too creative. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. Anyways, Stacy, thank you for another amazing episode of the Rocky Files.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. Keep punching. Bye-bye.